These are
What would you
creepy
do
TikToks
if
that'll
you
make
woke
you
up in the
rethink
middle of the
your
night to
whole
find someone
reality.
standing over you watching you sleep and also tickling your feet? This is the real case of the Boston tickler.
Look at a mall Santa the same way after hearing this story. So this photo was taken around 1920 in a Christmas fair happening outside of Boston. The young child in this photo is Alberta Porter, the daughter of Robert Porter, who was posed to be Boston's next mayor.
ZMD, Zombies of Mass Destruction. No, that is such a lie. You've never heard of that film, sir.
I hope no one has heard.
Someone is really clapping. He's like, yeah, absolutely!
Have you ever heard about living people getting their freak on with a ghost? Well, the following information may surprise you.
I'm back, it's your boy FITTI to the E, and today I got a compilation for you. If you guys like the video, remember to like the video. Let's try to get to 500 likes this video. Remember that the chain is free for a limited time only, so check the link down in the description. Let's just hop right into the video.
What I'm about to show you is the photo Katrina Whalen captured on her Ring camera the other night. So Katrina lives alone down a long country road in West Texas. And 3 nights ago, she invited a friend over for dinner at 7 p.m. But 7 rolls around and her friend's not there. And then 8 rolls around and her friend is still not there. And that's when Katrina starts to hear footsteps outside. Slow at first, but then it starts to sound like someone is running full speed at her house. Thinking it's her friend, she goes to open the door, but no one is there. So Katrina calls her friend, but then when the other line picks up, it's just heavy breathing. And then laughing. She's really freaked out now, so she runs upstairs, but that's when she gets the notification that someone is at her front door. And this was that someone. Katrina is still alive to tell the tale, but there's been an uptick in Reddit users complaining in West Texas of hearing someone outside and then answering the door to see no one is there.
Hell no, you know how strange that is? What would you do if you just see someone just in your Ring camera? I'd be like, yo, get the hell away from my door, dude. You don't even know me. People that do that are also kind of brave, because it's like, bro, how do you know that the person that you're doing this to isn't someone that's armed or someone that's just dumb that will do some stupid stuff to end your life? So people play a really risky game with stuff like that.
You guys have to watch this creepy video.
Going for a walk and I look up and I see my neighbors. The hell?
Like, what? The lights flickering and all of them turning to her at the same time is just so creepy. But I think the creepiest part is that this is the one and only video she's posted, and she hasn't posted for 2 weeks. This is her account. The last time she posted was October 14th, I believe. So this begs the question, is this person okay? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section.
I mean, I don't think so. I feel like that was just like, I mean, it is kind of strange. If you really think about it, why is the family sitting there, lights are flickering, and then they're like, we see you, shorty. That was kind of strange, I'm not gonna lie. I wonder what their purpose was, but I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, I think she's fine. I don't think they were gonna come outside and chase her down, and if they did, I feel like she would have ran, if I'm being honest.
This was the last photo ever taken on Chelsea McFerren's camera before she went missing. So just outside of Seattle in 2004, high school junior Chelsea McFerren's teachers noticed something was wrong with her. For one, it appeared like she just entirely stopped sleeping. She apparently mentioned to a friend that every time she fell asleep, she said that she saw the image of a clown that she referred to as Mr. Bubbles. Her English teacher also reported that she was constantly looking outside of the classroom window as if something was out there watching her. Police evidence gathered after her disappearance showed that her notebooks were full of sketches like this with what police now believe to be Mr. Bubbles. October 4th, 2004 was the last night anyone saw Chelsea. The last text sent from her phone was to her friend saying, "I'm tired of being afraid." And now,
That's like a Freddy Krueger story. It's like, yeah, I don't want to go to sleep because I might die. You know how crazy that must be for her? I mean, hopefully whatever she was going through, she's been past that, because it's a little bit strange.
you'll never look at a mall Santa the same way after hearing this story. So this photo was taken around 1920 in a Christmas fair happening outside of Boston. The young child in this photo is Alberta Porter, the daughter of Robert Porter, who was posed to be Boston's next mayor. Apparently, this Santa had set up around the corner from the rest of the fair and was not visible from the rest of the fair. Robert and his daughter actually didn't even see the Santa until they were walking home. The line to see Santa inside of the fair was way too long, so when Alberta saw this Santa, she started crying and begging her dad to take a photo with him. So this photo was taken, and afterwards, the Santa asked if Alberta wanted to go on a short ride on the donkey. And she starts crying and begging her father again, so he agrees. But Alberta never returned. An hour went by and Santa still hadn't brought her back. Robert ran into the fair to ask an employee how long the donkey rides typically last, but the employee seemed really confused. There was no Santa with donkey rides at this fair. The employee pointed to the Santa who had a long line of children out in front of him and said that was the only Santa at the fair. Alberta was never found, and Robert actually dropped out of politics to spend his entire life and savings on finding her and the man who took her, and never did.
Because I'm trying to figure out, is like, bro, why would you not be watching your own daughter? If some Santa's like, yeah, you want to go to donkey ride, why would you just let her go? Like, I'm walking with. I'm like, yo, I'll go on the ride with y'all too. Let's see what's going on. Hopefully, he never even ended up finding her, dude. I was about to say, hopefully he ended up finding, but he never even did. Oh, that's scary.
This town is so haunted they had to permanently close it to the public. This is Dudleytown, Connecticut. Dudleytown, Connecticut is a haunted, abandoned town in Cornwall, Connecticut, and has a creepy history. Visitors who have explored there say that once they enter, it's otherworldly in there. Creepy. First of all, it's reportedly completely silent. You can't hear birds, animals, bugs, nothing. A researcher compared entering the heart of Dudleytown to standing inside a recording studio booth. Another common complaint from visitors is that a lot of the photos they take in Dudleytown won't develop, but as soon as they leave, their cameras will work just fine. Which makes sense, as I had a really hard time finding really any photos of Dudleytown when I was researching. The creepy legend of the town is years ago, the Dudley family fled to the US after one of their family members was taken care of after plotting against King Henry VIII. They settled in Connecticut and the bad luck followed. Residents of Dudleytown began suffering a series of devastating crop failures and mental illness was rampant in the village. There were countless mysterious disappearances within the village and all-around chaos overwhelmed Dudleytown. By the early 1900s, it was completely abandoned. For fans of the Conjuring films based on paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, the two visited Dudleytown and outright declared that it was extremely haunted and controlled by something terrifying. Investigators agreed that Dudleytown is some kind of a portal. But here's where it goes from spooky to downright bizarre. The owners, the Dark Entry Forest Association, closed Dudleytown to the public and don't do anything to dispel the rumors. In fact, they refuse to be interviewed for the most part, and the owners go to great lengths to conceal their identities. On top of that, if you are caught trespassing in Dudleytown, you will be heavily prosecuted. This is so strange to me. We see so many other ghost towns around the world, and usually they keep these places open for tourism. You know, profit off the history and the spookiness. But for some reason, this association wants to keep people out of Dudleytown altogether. A paranormal researcher said there's some kind of secret that they are keeping there, and they want people to stay out. What are your thoughts? This has been requested a couple times. Has anyone ever been? Or are there any towns by you that you find to be really creepy?
You know, I was just about to say, I was about to be like, honestly, I could low-key go to Dudleytown because it's like, it was right there. Like, Connecticut is not that far from me. But then she was like, yeah, it's actually banned from the whole public. And if you go there, you'll be charged and fined. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, maybe next time, Dudleytown. But for right now, nah.
Have you ever heard about living people getting their freak on with a ghost? Well, the following information may surprise you. Well, I'm your friend Real Ghost Hunter 1, and this is what my guide to the dark side of paranormal has to say. Although the idea of intimacy with a ghost seems laughable to most people, it says here that it's a real experience and has been well documented. But because it invites ridicule and jokes, most victims don't come forth with their story. You don't have to search too hard to find info on this. It's all over. And obviously, sometimes they don't even need us. Here's another similar picture. I'll let you stare at that while I continue. It says here, the land of the dead offers little or nothing in the way of fleshly pleasures, such as eating, drinking, smoking, and physical pleasures. So when ghosts have the chance to visit the land of the living, they look for ways to indulge. Apparently not having a body doesn't stop them if they find the right host. These randy encounters with ghosts range from being touched in an intimate way, all the way up to doing the full act, including physical sensations and the big O. It's not surprising that most of these activities happen at night when the victim's laying in bed. Most of them are women who sleep alone. Now you might be thinking about incubus and succubus, which are simply the male and female versions of demons which were never human. But that's not what we're talking about here. Or is it? The typical scenario is this. The victim will awake in the night to an invisible force pushing down on them, or on the bed, and they feel invisible hands and a body upon them. They may see and smell the ghost, perhaps even feel the breath on their neck. The experiences range from being compassionate to an all-out unpleasant physical assault. Some victims feel that it's forced upon them, while others feel they have a choice whether or not to indulge. It says here that ghost intimacy is not always unpleasant, and some people secretly admit that they find it quite erotic. Let me know if this subject interests you. I've got 3 or 4 real stories to go along with it.
That's such a weird story. In my opinion, it's like, if you could just be dead and do stuff like that, what's the point of even being alive? Like, that's such a living human thing to be like intimate like that. So why when you're in the grave you could do the same exact thing? What's the point of even being alive at that point? Kind of strange.
Never go camping alone with a camera. A 22-year-old woman took to the internet and wrote of a horrifying true experience she had camping recently. The woman is an avid nature photographer, so she regularly goes through hikes through the deep woods and forests. One day, she heads out to a location some friends had gone to and gotten stunning photos of deer and other wildlife. She drove as far as she could until the woods started. She parked her car, grabbed her tent and supplies, and headed into the forest. 30 minutes into the hike, she found a badger den in a remote area of the forest, no one else around, so she set up her camera to film the den overnight. She had her camera on a motion sensor, so if anything moved, the camera would begin rapidly taking photos. She plugged her camera into the battery pack, pitched a tent nearby, and fell asleep for the night. The next morning, she woke up and saw fresh trails around the den. She picked up her camera, but found that it was dead, and also strangely, it was unplugged from the power pack. This was strange because she remembered plugging it in. So she packs up everything and makes it back to her car to charge the battery, and 30 minutes later, the camera finally turned back on. She went to her camera roll and the first video was of the badger den, but there weren't any badgers in sight. But something must have triggered the camera to start recording. She scrolls to the next photo, and it's a photo of her tent. She then scrolls to the next photo. It's a picture of her sleeping alone inside the tent. This was followed by 40 more photos of her sleeping, taken merely inches from her face. The final photo was taken at 5:30 a.m., about 30 minutes before she woke up, and it was a picture of her car. She drove as fast as she could out of there and managed to get home safely, but to this day, no one knows who took those photos. So he or she is still out there. Great. Who do you think took those photos?
So more and more sightings of the Smiling Man have been reported recently. For those who don't know, the Smiling Man is a very tall, odd-looking man who wears this creepy grin and is often caught trying to steal children, as was the case with a young girl named Linda. Years ago, Linda lived in West Virginia, and one night she awoke to strange sounds in her bedroom. She rolled over to go back to sleep, but what she saw in her hallway was a tall, dark, shadowy figure. Linda closed her eyes in fear, and when she reopened them, he was standing right above her. She screamed and he disappeared, but recently there's been more reports of sightings. Legend has it, if you close your eyes at night and think the words Smiling Man, Smiling Man, Smiling Man over and over again, he'll appear. Would you try?
What would you do if you woke up in the middle of the night to find someone standing over you watching you sleep and also tickling your feet? This is the real case of the Boston Tickler. In 2014, several Boston College students made a string of really creepy reports to police. They said they were awoken in the middle of the night to someone standing over them, watching them sleep and tickling their feet. Oh. The unidentified male was known to wear all black and sometimes a ski mask. To the community, the phantom tickler was thought to be a myth or some big prank. But for victims of the tickler, they said this is no myth, he is very real. And targeted students living off Boston College's campus for over 2 years. Mysteriously, the tickler always seemed to escape and targeted both men and women. One victim named Jake said he was awoken at nearly 4 a.m. to a figure standing at the end of his bed, but by the time he realized that someone was really there, the man was booking it out the door. An hour later, another victim named Billy said he awoke to someone slowly opening his bedroom door, sneaking in. He laid in bed and watched as the figure slowly crept into his bedroom. Billy called out for his roommate, then watched the figure slowly creep back out of the room, and then heard the front door shut. The tickler made a visit, he said. Police reported at least 10 encounters with the so-called tickler. And to this day, the tickler has never been identified. I couldn't find any reports of any recent tickling activity. So, what are your thoughts? Where did he go? Probably tickling someone somewhere.
I bet that phantom tickler was just like some random kid just trying to play jokes on like the college student. I had a friend that went to Boston College, so it was funny just hearing about that The phantom tickler, bro. I know for a fact we're just one of those kids just like trolling. But that's kind of weird. How do you see just easily break into... Not gonna lie, I've been on a college campus. If I'm being real, you can just walk into any house. Like, it's just unlocked. I'm like, why is the door unlocked at 5 a.m.? But you're on a college campus, so you think you're good. But if anything, in my head, I'm making me think I'm on a college campus. That means I should lock my door. Because any of these kids could just walk in for no reason. But at the same time, they usually live with roommates. And then the roommates leave I don't know, man. I feel like it's not that hard to just walk in on someone. Because I was thinking, like, how does he just get into their crib? But it is a college.
The serial killer group chat. Look, I know what you guys are thinking. Is there some big group chat where serial killers give tips and talk about murdering people? And the answer is no. Well, maybe, but that's not what this is. Today I decided to make a huge group chat on an app called IRL where we can talk about serial killers, true crime, unexplained mysteries, and conspiracy theories. So hit the link on my profile and I'll make sure to see you guys in. People that would not survive the zombie apocalypse. First off, people that snore. Like, how are they even supposed to make it through the first night? I mean, they'll probably...
That's messed up, bro. Said I wouldn't survive. You know, I've actually thought about that. I was like, if a zombie apocalypse happened or the end of a world situation where we gotta just, like, survive without the internet, without the doctors, without any of that thing, like the last resort type situation, I'm like, you know, I'll wear glasses. Am I just gonna be blind? Or am I just gonna have to adapt and use the glasses till the end of time? Realistically, I could just buy a bunch of different glasses for that scenario, just in case. I don't know. That's a weird situation. What do you think? Do you think that people with glasses in an end of world situation would survive or they wouldn't survive? I feel like they would survive. I feel like it's not too big of a problem until you lose said glasses or it breaks or you can't get another one and then now you're just blind.
I saw your fiance Jake backstage. Yes. Fiance.
Yes.
By the way, congratulations. How? I'm so excited.
Yes, me too.
He's a great guy, and you were telling me backstage that the proposal story, it was pretty incredible. I have not heard it yet. Do you mind sharing?
Yes, well, I haven't told anyone this because you know, like there are moments, key moments, but I'm like, Fallon is the best. And also, I think this is too good of a story to not tell, but basically, Jake and I bonded over diving. We love diving. We got our diving licenses together. And one day we were on vacation and he was like, Mil, you gotta be up at 8 a.m. We're going on a dive. And I was like, 8 a.m.?
Yeah.
Dive? Like, what are we?
Vacation, yeah.
And he's telling me, like, we're going to the same spot we usually go to. I'm like, it's boring, let's go somewhere new. He's like, no, we have to go to this spot. So we go under and we're like many meters down and he gives me like a shell and I like turn it over and it's a ring. And I was like, and I like looked at him and he was like, and he was like, and I was like, because this means up. I want to go up.
So you can't.
So that technically would mean no, I don't want to marry you. I want to go up. So
you can't. You got to make a quick decision.
Okay, and I think it was underwhelming, but we freaked out. Anyways, he puts the ring on my hand, and as I go to show him, the ring falls off my finger, plummets. Like, so fast, it was like a cinematic movie. Jake threw himself into the, like, so deep. Like, the diver was like, you can't do that. Like, your brain will explode. He throws himself. He does a cinematic, like, grab, opens, and he saved the ring.
Come on.
And I truly
That's a stud.
I know. I truly feel like it's a reflection of who he is, and I feel like we were always going to have each other's back, and if anyone drops the ball, we got it. So there we go.
But then that's not the end of the proposal.
We got to the top.
Yep.
And he was like, do you want to marry me? And I was like, oh, like, yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be, you should probably ask me in person. And then he was like, you know, I bought you this ring because your mom wouldn't let me take her ring, which is the one I'm wearing. This is my mom's ring. And he was like, my mom was like, absolutely not, Jake. You're not taking my ring down there. I know you'll drop it. And sure enough, I did.
He did. So, she was right.
She was right. So when I got up on the boat, he was like, this is your mom's ring, and I got it from your parents. And it was very magical. And his parents were there, and we just looked so disheveled coming out from a dive.
We're engaged.
And we were like, we're engaged, but also we have to tell you this crazy story that just happened. Like,
yeah, because no one knows.
No one knows. It's like,
You're in the middle of nowhere.
We were just like, yeah.
That's so personal and great.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm so happy for you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Oh wow, that was a very interesting story. Good for her. It's crazy. I feel like a lot of people are getting married nowadays. But it's kind of weird because divorce rate's like 50%. That means there's a chance you might get divorced down the line. It's crazy how divorce is so high in the USA. It's a little bit scary, actually. It's not even crazy. That's scary.
ZMD, Zombies of Mass Destruction. Now, no, that is such a lie. You've never heard of that film, sir.
I hope no one has heard.
Someone is really clapping. He's like, yeah, absolutely! ZMD! 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 Zombies of Mass Destruction! Zombies of Mass Destruction!
You guys, I've never seen this movie. I was in it, but I wasn't allowed to watch it.
You weren't because you were too little?
I was like, I think 11 when I filmed it, 10 or 11.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you got to come back as a zombie. Look at how cute Sydney Sweeney and ZMD. Aww. What? That is,
I was so excited.
right? That's got to be like Halloween, right? For a
I
kid, you're like,
thought this was the coolest thing ever.
yeah. And you're like, this is gonna. I mean, you're gonna end up with a giant movie career.
Yeah.
Just
I
from
had
ZMD.
One arm.
Zombies of Mass Destruction. We actually have a clip from the movie.
Oh no. I don't know if I've ever seen this.
I don't think the movie ever thought it would air on The Tonight Show, but here it is.
It's ever gone.
Here it is. ZMD, Zombies of Mass Destruction.
Oh my
Sydney
God.
Sweeney.
Lisa, everything's going to be okay, all right? Nothing bad is going to happen to you. I promise, okay? Okay, let's go.
Wow! Holy moly, that's an unbelievable scene.
Oh my God.
That's an
I'm never
unbelievable
gonna see
scene.
the end of this on Twitter.
Nah, that was funny. That was funny. Sydney. I mean, yo, you could tell her acting career started kind of early. That's good. I feel like a lot of big actors, their career started when they were like little kids. There's some of them that actually started pretty late and they took off too, but a lot of them started when they were small. Interesting. If you guys like the video, please like the video. Remember that the like goal is 500 likes. Like the chain, check the link down in the description. 99% of them free right now. So remember to check them out. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, like it. Peace out.